Hello friends, today in this tutorial I will be building a video chatting kind of application inside our WebSocket using WebSocket library, and we will also be using RTCPeerConnection API also for building this. So basically at a time two people can chat with each other using video chat. They can see their faces. So I will be showing you the demo of this tutorial, what we will be building in this tutorial. So this will be built using Node.js and JavaScript. So let me show you the demo of the application, what we will be building here. So you can be seeing the video and all audio as well. So let me just show you the demo here. This is my application. You will see that sender.html, receiver.html, and the third file is server.js. So basically these are made using WebSockets. So WebSockets, guys, you know that WebSocket is a way by which you can communicate bidirectional between the client and the server. So various chatting applications, video chatting applications are built using the WebSocket protocol. So it's a computer communication protocol providing double duplex, full duplex communication, so over a single TCP connection. So we will be using the same concept in developing this application, guys. So WebSocket is a very powerful concept, and it is a very good alternative to the traditional HTTP tutorials. So let me show you. This is my receiver.html. This is the sender.html. Let me open the, first of all, sender.html file here inside my local directory. So this is the application you can see on your screen, guys. So here I need to enter the username. I can enter any sort of username, but suppose I enter John and click the send button. And first of all, I also need to open receiver.html. So this is sender. So if I enter the username, you can enter any username of your choice. Now if I click send, and after this, if I want to start the call, I need to grant the permissions. So once I grant the permissions, so you will see that in the console. For this, guys, you first of all need to start our Node.js application, so which is running inside localhost 3000. Before running the sender and receiver, you need to start your Node.js application. So here we will simply say that nodemon server.js. So we will start this application listening on port 3000. So the application is listening on 3000. Now we can start this sender. We can open with live server. So here we can enter the username to which we need to video call or video chatting kind of application, and receiver. This is we can open this. So here we can enter the username John, click on send, click on start call, and now you can see that if I need to, I can also mute the video and mute audio, and here we can enter the join call like this. And it is saying that this tab is using your camera or microphone. So I need to uninstall the SparkoCam, guys. So I have that program running here. So that's why you are not seeing my video. So I need to uninstall this software from my machine. So uninstall, let me uninstall this. Let me uninstall this. So apart from that, guys, if you have any sort of question related to this application, I have given the full source code in the video description. So if you have any sort of doubt, you can ask in the comment section. Let me let me close all the browsers so that it is uninstalled. So now you can see that, guys, now it is successfully uninstalled. Now the server is listening on port 3000. You will see that listening on 3000. Now we can open our live server. We can enter the usernames, start the call. So now you will see that this is my face here, guys. You will see that, and you can mute the video. If you mute the video, my video is not showing here. You will see that, and you can also mute the audio as well. So now we will have the receiver. If I open with the, I need to enter the username to which we need to make the call. If I click join call, so now what will happen? You will see that. So now we are talking to one another. So you can see that. So once again, we can target any username. Let's suppose Paul. If I send it, click start call. And here we need to enter the same username. Click join call. And now you will see that the calling is made here. You can see that. You can see the console here. So fail to execute send on WebSocket, still in connecting state. If you check the, let me start this once again. So this is our Node.js server, guys. So you will see that now this is the sender file, this is the receiver file, and here you need to enter the username John. Click send, start the call. This is my face here, you can see that. And now you need to, at the receiver end, you need to enter the same username, which is John. Click the join call, and now you can see that. So there will be some, let me, so now guys, you can see that you will be listening the audio from both the devices, because I am performing this test on the same laptop. So now you can see that you can perform this on different laptops, different machines, and different mobile phones as well. So you just need to change the IP address of this inside the file, whatever file I need to make. This is a WebSocket. So basically this is our IP address. So this is different for every machine out there. So you can get the IP address, simply go to open network in settings, and simply you need to get this IP address which is shown here. Go to the properties section, and this is the IP address, guys. You will see that you need to get this IP version 4 address, 192.168.196.59. So if you are using the Wi-Fi adapter, you can just get the address which starts from 192. Simply paste it here, and now simply you will see that this is our file. So you can just connect with random guy, just perform this. You can mute the video as well, like this. If you see, you can see that. So we are talking with one another, guys. So in this way you can make the video chatting kind of a application. So it is very awesome application which is built using WebRTC, and we are using a special library which is RTC peer connection API. So this is the API which is used to connect video devices with one another inside the browser. So you will see that. In order to make this, it is very easy, guys. So all the source code I have given inside the video description. So if you want to get all the source code of this application, you can go to the video description link in the video stream. So after watching this, If you want to get the source code, let me show you. So I have given this source code in the video description of this live stream. So all the step-by-step instruction is given. If you check here, this is some comments are there. Can I ask you something? Yeah, you can ask in the comment section whatever you want to. So you will see that, guys, in the video description, this is the source code which is given here. You can go to this, and this is the blog post, step-by-step blog post I have written, how to make this video chatting kind of application. So you can see that. So let's start building this application from scratch, guys. So we will be building this application, video chatting kind of application from scratch. So let's start building this. So first of all, what we need to do is that we need to close this so that we can make a new application. So right here inside this, what we need to do is that we need to make a brand new folder inside this. Just delete all this. We don't need this. Delete this. Delete, delete. So first of all, guys, what we need to do is that we need to make the server.js file. So let me close this directory, and inside my projects directory, let me create a new folder which will be video chat. I will go into this directory and open this inside Visual Studio Code text editor. So after this, guys, what we need to do is that we need to make npm init-y. This will create the package.json file for us. So now we need to install WebSocket dependency, and just install this. So WebSocket dependency we have installed. So here I am in class 12 working as a full stack developer. What should I do? Should I focus on 12 or doing both? Uh, you should focus on both. I will say you can also need to focus on the studies, but at the same time you also need to focus upon the technologies that you want to learn in the future, because as a full stack developer you should be interested in all the technologies such as Node.js, Express, uh, MongoDB, so MERN so whichever database that you want to make, you should definitely concentrate on that. And at the same time, you need to be scoring good marks as well. So I will be suggesting that to you that you should concentrate on both the subjects at the same time. Focus more upon the studies, because after 12th you can do whatever you want inside the college related to your full stack developer skills. So that's why. Um, but I have already built similar project. Sahil Verma is saying, yeah, many people say they have built it, but Socket.io is a dependency from which you have built it. Socket.io is very complex, and but we in this tutorial we are using WebSockets. We are building it from the scratch. We are not using any third-party libraries such as Socket.io. So WebSockets are the way by which we can build out these video chatting kind of application, peer-to-peer connection we will make. And if you go to npmjs.com, you will find out this library which is given, which is WebSocket. So if you just search for this library, in the last tutorial I have shown you the very basic example. So this is a dependency WebSocket. It has got 55 million weekly downloads. So it's a very famous or popular library. So you can also use this library also, which is WebSocket. It has also got 9 lakh weekly downloads. So for this we will be using this library. So what you need to do is that simply download this, include this npmi WebSocket. So install this library like this, and that's it. Now what we need to do is that, guys, inside our server.js, we need to write some code which will be required for us. So we need to start our server. So right here, we will make a index.js file right here. So we need to make a brand new socket. So we will simply say const socket require. We need to require the WebSocket library, and dot. We need to make the server. So we will say dot server. After this, we will include the HTTP module, which is the built-in module for Node.js to build the HTTP server. And now we will simply make the server, which will be, we will create the server by http.createServer, and here we will pass the request and the response. And after this will be our simple server which has created. You will see that we don't need to do anything here. So we have successfully created our HTTP server. So we need to listen this server on a particular port number. So we can listen on port 3000, and in the callback function we can simply say that the server is listening on 3000, listening on 3000. So basically, if you now execute this application in the command line, if you say nodeborn index.js, so it will simply say that listening on port 3000. So after this, guys, we can connect this server, connect this HTTP server with the WebSocket. So we can simply say const WebSocket. In order to make a new socket, we will simply say new instantiate new socket, and here we need to pass the HTTP server property, and this HTTP server is residing inside this server variable. So we will simply pass this server variable. That's it. So now we have successfully connected the WebSocket with our HTTP server. So after this, we will just create users array. Inside this, we will store all the users which comes to our WebSocket website. So we will simply create this empty array, users array, which will be empty by default. And apart from that, guys, we also need to listen for certain events out there whenever inside the WebSocket. So whenever a new request has come, we will simply say WebSocket.on request. On a new request, we will say request, and we will simply console log it. First of all, a new client is connected like this. And guys, inside this we have we need to make the connection. So we will have the new variable connection, and we will say request.accept, and here we will simply say connection.on message. So whenever a message is coming from the client side, we will be capturing this using this connection.on message. So whatever is the message, it will be residing in this message variable, which is the second variable inside this function. So here we will simply say that first of all, we need to convert this data, const data. We will use the json.parse method, and we will get the UTF data, UTF-8 data, like this. This is the property, and after this, we can simply say const user, and we will be making a new method which will be find user, and we will pass the username data.username. This is a property inside our data object. So we will compare it inside the switch statement, which is data.type. So switch statement, you all know what it do. In various cases, we will have The first case will be the store user. So basically, in this case, the user will be completely new. We need to store this user inside. Here you can store it inside a database, or you can store it in a local memory. We will not be using database. We will just be storing temporarily. So if user is not null, so we will simply return. So if the user is not null, then we will return. Instead, we will make a new connection. So inside this, the connection property will be equal to connection, and the username property will be user equal to data dot username. So whatever the username the user has provided, that's it. Now we need to push this inside our users array. So here we will simply say users dot push, and we will push the new user like this, and then we will console log the new user dot username, and then we will simply break. The next scenario, guys, this is for storing the user. The next scenario will be to store offer. So basically, whenever the user needs to connect with another user, this will be the case. We need to write code for this. So inside the if condition, we will check if the user is null. In that case, we will simply return. But if the user is not null, in that case, we will instantiate user.offer to data.offer, and then we will break. That's it. So this is the second scenario. The third scenario will be, guys, for storing the candidate. So this will be the storing the receiver end. So whichever you are video calling to, the let's suppose you are calling to a certain person, so we need to get store the details of that user as well. So here we will check if the user is null. In that case, we will return, and then we will also check dot candidates is also null. If the receiver is also null, which we are talking to, then also we will initialize user.candidates to empty array. And after this, guys, what we need to do, so this is a little bit complex, guys, but you need to write this exactly how I am writing right here. User.candidates.push. Here we will push the data.candidate. That's it. This is the, and then we need to simply break. That's it. The next case will be to send the invite, guys. So we need to send the invite to the video call user peer, another peer. So here once again we will check that if user is null, we will return, and then after this, if the user is not null, we will send out the data using this method from the server to the client. So we will send out the type parameter, which will be answer, and then the answer will be equal to data dot answer. So the second parameter, the first is this object, and the second will be user dot connection. That's it. And then we will simply break. So next will be the same scenario, guys. We need to send out the candidate. We will simply say send underscore candidate. In this same, we will be comparing if the user is null. In this case, we can also return, and then also we need to send the data. The first parameter will be here, the type, which will be candidate, and now the second parameter will be candidate, and this will be equal to data.candidate. And the second parameter will be user.connection, that's it. And now we also need to break. The next is the join call button, guys. So if you want to join the call, then this is the case for joining the call. This is join underscore call. So here we will say if user is null. If the user is currently not present, in that scenario, we will simply return. And if the user is present, then we will send out the data from the server to the client. The type here will be offer. Type will be offer, and the offer will be user.offer. And the second parameter will be the actual connection. That's it. So after this, guys, we will be having a for each loop. We will use the user.candidates, which is the actual number of people present, and we will use the for each loop. Inside for each loop, for each candidate, this is the arrow function. We will send out the data. The type parameter will be equal to candidate, and the candidate will be equal to candidate, and the second parameter is equal to connection. And then, guys, we will simply break like this. That's it. So this is all the inside this. So now we need to move out of this. So we need to move out of this switch case here. So we have used the switch case, and for each scenario, for storing the user, for storing the offer, sending the answer, sending the candidate, join the call, for each scenario we have written the code. So we need to come out of this. So that's it. So here we need to write the code whenever the user disconnect the video call. So for this we need to have this method, which is connection.on close. So in the second parameter we will have the actual reason, and the second parameter will be the description. So why the user left the call, reason and description. So this is the arrow function. So we will simply say users for each user we will just compare if the user connection is equal to connection. In that case, we will remove the connection of the user by using users.splice. So this will remove the actual user from the users array, index of user. We will pass it and put a comma and 1. Put a return statement, that's it. So this will actually remove the user from the video call from the screen. And two more functions, guys, we need to write inside this. In this we will send the data from the server to the client. So this function send data. So data comma connection. So here we will simply say connection.send json.stringify data. And then we have the second method, which will be useful to find the user by its username. And here we will use the for loop, which is let I is equal to 0, I less than users dot length, I plus plus. And here we will compare if the given user dot username is equal to the actual username. In that case, we can return that user. So return users I. So that's it, guys. This is all the code which is required inside our server file inside Node.js. So now we can write our client side code. So for this, you need to declare a sender folder and receiver folder. Two separate folders you need to make out. So inside sender, we will make out sender.html and sender.js. And similarly repeat it for receiver as well. Receiver.js. And one more file, guys, which will be style.css, which is a global style sheet for just putting the styles to the application. So here inside sender.html, guys, this will be a simple HTML file. So this will be sender HTML. And inside this, guys, what we need to do is that we need to include the style sheet, which is present inside style.css. And inside this, we will have a input field. So inside this input field, guys, we will have a placeholder where you need to enter the username of the person to which you need to call out. So this is a placeholder. So this will be of type text, and after this we will be having a break tag, and this I need to give it an ID so that we can target its username. So whatever you enter here, this will be the actual username to which we will need to connect. So after this, guys, if you now we will have two buttons out there. First button will be to send this data to the server, and when you click this button on click event handler, so we will execute this function which will be send username. And the second button will be for starting the call, start video call. So when you just click this, we will start the call. So that's it. Now we will have the second if. Inside this we will we will show the video stream for our video. So this will be muted by default, and we will be giving an ID to it of local video, and it should autoplay by default. Similarly, we will have the video tag for this will be remote video for the remote person, and it should also autoplay. And then we will have two buttons. So these two buttons will be responsible for muting the video of the person and muting audio. So when we click these buttons, we will attach the on click, which is mute video, mute audio. So after this, guys, we also need to include the script file, which is sender.js. And here you need to give it a class to it of video call div. And this class, that's it. That's all I need to do. If you open this, inside, uh, I have the extensions. So you need to start this, enable this. live server. It's a Visual Studio Code extension. This is widely used extensions to just install this. So if you now open with the live server, you will see that this is the username to which you need to make the video call. If you click send, this information will be sent to the client server side. So now we need to write this JavaScript code. So in the same directory, sender.js. So here what we need to do is that, guys, we will need to make a new WebSocket which will connect to a Node.js server. So here we will say WebSocket, new WebSocket. Sorry, this is new WebSocket. Uh, New WebSocket, and here you need to, this socket is capital. So here you need to provide the address, guys. So WS stands for WebSocket, and here you need to put the client IP address of your machine. So this will be different for you. So the idea is pretty simple. You need to go to your Wi-Fi or whichever network you are connected to. Simply open network and internet settings, and right here you need to, I am connected by Ethernet. You will see that if you click properties, you will see your IP address. You need to get the version 4 address, don't get the DNS address, just the IP address. So this is my IP address. Simply I will copy this address, I will close this and paste it here, and then you need to put the port number to which your server is connected to. So in my case it is connected by 3000. If I show you here, this is the server is listening on port 3000. So we are connected to 3000 port number. That's it. So that's all. This is WebSocket connected. So now whenever a new message come, WebSocket dot WebSocket on message. So whenever a new message is received, this will be the actual event function. So here we need to handle the event. So for handling it, we will simply say handle signaling data. So here we will need to convert this data by using json.parse. So this will convert to a JavaScript object. This will be event.data. That's it. So now we need to make this function, which is a function handle signaling data, and this will have this data. So here again we will have the switch statement, data.type. So whenever this is a case of answer, we will use the peer connection. And for this, guys, you need to declare some variables right here at the top for username. And yeah, I also need to declare local stream. This will be the video stream of yours which will be shown in the browser, and peer connection. That's it. So these are the three variables you need to declare right here at the very top. And after this, inside our switch statement, we can simply say peer connection dot set remote description data dot answer, and then we need to break. So the next case will be pretty much similar, guys, which will be case candidate. So we will simply say peer connection dot add ICE candidate, and here we will simply say data dot candidate. That's it. So after this, guys, we will be writing this method which will be send username. So basically when you click this button, whatever you enter the username, click the send button, you need to send this username back to the server. So here we need to write this method which is send username. So for this we will simply say username document dot get element by id username dot value, and then we will send the data. The type parameter will be store user, and the second parameter second method we will write here, which will be, guys, uh, we need to start the call. So basically the second button which is available, start the video call. So basically when you hit this button, we need to write this method which will actually start video call. So we will start call. So we will say document dot get element by id video call div. So if you see here, we have given this, let me have this class here. So let me make it a id. So video call div. So we are put the style and the display property to inline. So this is a start call method we are writing, guys. So when we hit this button, we are writing this method. So here we will use the navigator API to show the video. So here we will use navigator dot get user media. So for the video, the frame rate value will be simply 24. The width property will be simply the minimum width you can provide 480. Ideal will be 720. Maximum will be 180, 1280. So also you can provide the aspect ratio, which will be 1.3333. The next parameter here will be, guys, for audio, which will be either true or false, but we need to have the audio as well. Then we will have this the second parameter, which will be the actual stream, which will be coming. So we can initialize to local stream, and then we will simply say document dot get element by id local video dot source object. This is the property stream. So we will be attaching it. So if you now execute this file, guys, so basically if you open this, if I enter a username, click send. So now what will happen is that in the console, if you check, send data is not defined. I think we haven't written that function, which you can see here. We are sending the data. So we need to make this method. send data, which will actually send the data to the server. So right here, just before this will have the actual data. So data dot username is equal to username, and WebSocket dot send. So here we will be sending the data. We will be converting to string, JSON dot stringify data. That's it. So now if you make this slight adjustment, if you hit the fail to get execute get user media or navigator, 3 arguments required but only true present. So it is saying that fail to execute get user media. So I think if you check here guys, I think we have made a mistake here. Get user media. I have given the full source code guys, so let me see here what is the problem. So inside get you will see that get user media navigator, and we have given this ID to it. You can see that local video. You will see that we have given this ID. Local stream. This is a video object. If you see here sender.js video object. This is a video object, audio stream. Let me run this once again guys. So if I enter the username, so if you search it inside Google, if you search it, I think let me write this function, uh, paste this. So this is a function here. Let me paste it here. If I open with live server, so now guys you will see that my face is showing here. So you will see that I think it just was a typing mistake that happened. Let me just summarize you what I did. navigator.getUserMedia we have written so far. Let me delete this code. So this function was missing, guys, so you will see that on error. That is the function which was missing. You will see that. So we have the style sheet as well, file which is there. If you want the style sheet file to be applied here, I have given that file. So here simply inside style.css paste this code. That's it. So once again, if you refresh it, now you can see that this is my face here. These are the two buttons which are present, mute video and mute audio. So if you have any sort of question, guys, you can ask in the comment section. I will definitely answer it. Uh, Focus on coding, man. School sucks. Thanks, your comment will be appreciable. And so this is the thing, guys. So now we can write some more code here. After attaching to the video stream, you will see that now we need to configure the servers for video call. So these servers are of Google. So these are called as ICE servers. So we will have the configuration object. So this is called as ICE servers. ICE servers. This will be an array. This is URLs. And this is written as stun colon stun l dot google.com, and the port number here will be 19302. So these are the port servers which are provided by Google. So here you need to put the comma here. Stun 1 google.com 19302 stun 2 google.com 19302. So these are the three ICE servers, guys, which are provided by Google. You need to configure it like this. After this, we will have the peer connection variable, and here we will use the RTC peer connection library. Peer connection library, and we will pass this configuration. So peer connection dot add stream, we will add this local stream, and there is a event out there whenever the stream is added, which is on add stream. So this will be the function which will be executed. So here we will simply say document.getElement by ID remote video dot source object is equal to e.stream. So on remote connection, our video stream will be showing up. So this is meant by this. So we are just opening up a new RTC peer connection. passing this configuration, you will see that these are the three servers we are passing, and then we are adding the stream. One more event is there, guys, which is peer connection dot on ice candidate. So this would be the e parameter. So here we will check if .e.candidate is equal to null. Then we will simply return. If it is not null, we will send out the data to the server. The type parameter here will be store candidate, and the candidate will be equal to e.candidate. And lastly, guys, we need to now create the offer and send it to receiver. So here for this, we will make this create and send offer method. So this is a custom method. We need to write this method, create and send offer. So peer connection dot create offer. This is the method create offer. So in that offer, we can need to send the data to the client, which is the type parameter will be equal to store offer, and the offer will be equal to offer. And after this, we also need to set the local description of the peer connection. Set local description. We need to pass the offer. That's it. So now, guys, we need to write the two methods which are present right here inside our screen. So when you just open it, mute video and mute audio. So whenever you press these two buttons, you need to mute the video and mute the audio. So for doing this, it is pretty easy. We just need to initialize the variables, which is audio to true, is video to true. And then we will write these methods, which is mute audio. First of all, we will make these variables to not. We will make the opposite of it is audio. In the next statement, we will simply remove the audio by local stream dot get audio tracks. Dot enabled to is audio is video. Sorry, is video. Sorry, is audio. That's it. So for the second method, guys, which will be in order to actually mute the video of the user, function mute video. So here again we will make the opposite of it is video. Local stream dot get video tracks 0 dot enabled to is video. So that's all you need to do inside this sender.js file. So we have written this code. So now we need to move on to the receiver.html file. So here we will need to repeat the same process. So this is the receiver file. So we need to include the style.css. So again, inside this we will have a simple input tag. Here we will be having a simple input field. The placeholder will be enter username. So the type parameter will be text and the ID will be username. That's it. So after this, guys, here we will be entering the username to which we need to connect to make the video call. So then we will have a simple button to join the call. So on click, so when we click this button, we will make this method which is join call. So after this, guys, we will be having another div. So we will be having a class to it, call action div. So we will have the button which is mute video and mute audio. So on click, so when we click this, we will mute the video. We will mute the audio. So lastly, we need to also include the script file, which is receiver.js. So inside this, if you see, we have forgotten, we need to give it an ID of video call div. And inside this, we will have our video tag, local video. It should autoplay. And then again, this will be for remote video. So this needs to be inside this. So just make this adjustment. So now, guys, we will make this receiver.js. It is very much similar to the sender.js file. So whatever code that we have written here, it will be very much similar. So once again, here we need to connect to the WebSocket. So the address will be similar. Here the IP address of your machine 168.196. So put the IP address 59 and the port number which is 3000. So all the rest of the code, guys, it is similar. We have written this code, so I will not waste the time. So you can go to the video description link to receiver.js. This is the file. Let me copy and explain to you what is happening. So the main function here is simply this function, which is join call. So all this code is pretty much similar. You will see that. Again, we are using the RTCPeerConnection API. So if I launch this application now, guys, if I start the server, port 3000, if I enter the name, click the send button, start the video call. So let me close all the windows here so that So this is our sender.html file. This is a receiver file. Some errors are taking place, guys. So what I can do is that I can copy all the source code. I don't know, guys, some error has taken place in my PC. So that's all how you can make this application from scratch. I have coded you. So if you like this video, then please hit the like button, subscribe the channel as well. And all the source code will be there inside the video description. I have shown you how to do this. And I will be seeing you in the next stream.